Hiya, it's Cathryn here and this is my C-section story.
It's the morning of baby Mollie turning up. It's about 5:30 in the morning. We got to be at the hospital for 7.
Don't say hospital. Don't say hospital.
You excited?
Yeah.
Who's turning up today?
Mollie.
It's 6:45 on Wednesday morning and we are just driving to the hospital now.
Scary.
It's really scary. I've just washed my hair again in that antimicrobial wash and my body and my face, and I haven't got any makeup on. I feel really bare and I'm just so dry. I was allowed to sit water up until 6:30 and I've got a banging headache, so I'm just so dry and I really want to moisturise my face but I can't. How are you feeling?
Excited and dying for a coffee. But yeah, no, really excited.
I'm dying for a coffee as well, but I have to be nil by mouth, so hopefully we won't be waiting around too long. Sometimes we watch One Born every minute and they're waiting around for hours. We arrived at the hospital at 7 o'clock in the morning. We got shown to a room and they just basically left us to it. There's Jim, he's just got a coffee.
Sorry.
And he had a double decker earlier. And now he's got a bounty.
I've just inhaled that as well.
The midwife told us that there's 4 caesareans today, not including emergencies. So I think we're going to be waiting around for a little while. I've done my sample and the anaesthetist came in to chat to me about the risks of caesarean. I'm really thirsty because I can't have any water and I've got a headache. One of the risks of the operation is a headache, and I told him I've already got a headache. They told Jim to bring down a camera and the baby's first outfit. That's all that he needed to bring, and they gave him scrubs to wear. The midwife that came in, she said, because you're low risk, you're going to be one of the last, and I just kind of read that I just wouldn't be going soon at all. And she said, you know, there's a morning list and an afternoon list and we might have to make up an afternoon list for you. So I was just like, that's great. But I was fine to wait still, and she said, and what made me think it was going to be a really long wait was that she said, if there is an afternoon list then we'll get you something to eat and drink. And I thought, well, I haven't been able to eat and drink since 12 o'clock last night, and now you're saying that I can eat and drink, and obviously they can't leave me too long without any water. So that's what made me think it was going to be a really, really long wait. About 5 minutes after that, a lady in scrubs came in with another man and just said, are you ready to go to theatre? This was about 9:15 and we were so shocked. Jim went to sleep in the chair and he was ready for a long wait, and he woke up and was like, what's up? How long have I been asleep? He thought he'd fallen asleep until the afternoon, and it was about 5 minutes later. So I said to him, you've only been asleep about 5 minutes. They just wheeled me down.
So she's just gone into surgery and they've kitted me out in this some lovely shoes. So yeah, we're first.
I got into theatre. Everyone was coming at me at all angles. It was just like, hi, I'm here to do this, hi, I'm here to do that. They sat me on the bed and a midwife came along, held both my hands and was like, are you nervous? And I said, no, I'm really relaxed actually. And I think a lot of people do get nervous, but I'm just so fascinated by the whole caesarean. I've always wanted a caesarean and I'm just so fascinated with theatre and everything medical. They told me that they were putting a local anaesthetic in my back, and I had to really hunch forward and slouch like this over the bed, and I was still holding on to this lovely midwife's hands, and she just said, like, what your mum teaches you, don't slouch, you have to do the opposite of. So don't have your shoulders back at all, you have to really hunch over, which I was doing, but it was really hard with my bump in the way that I couldn't slouch too much. So I think he was being taught as well, and they were like, no, jab it here, jab it here. It did hurt a little bit when they were doing it, but they just were trying to find a space in the part of my spine. I think it's the lumbar spine they do it in. But another lady doctor said that she sprayed me with a really ice cold spray. She sprayed it on my arm and it was ice cold, and then she sprayed it from my foot all the way up my leg. I was quite nervous at the thought that the anaesthetic took hold of my body and then they had to cut me open on my say-so. What I mean by that is they kept asking me, is that cold, is that cold, is that cold? And if I'd have said no, or if I'd have said yes, that determined when they actually cut me open. So it was almost like I decided when I was cut open, and that kind of scared me a little bit. But obviously they have to do that because otherwise they wouldn't know if I could feel the cold or not, which meant that I would be able to feel pain. Where my midsection is, they put screens up, and the next thing I knew, the doctor was rolling something on my belly, and sort of they had the lights over me and just looked like they were ready to go, and I was just like, can I get Jim in please? And then Jim came in and just held my hand, and we were just having a chat the whole time. I felt them cut me open, and I felt a lot of tugging around and pressure in my belly, and right at the end I felt them really push on my ribs. I thought they were going to crack one of my ribs, but it wasn't a bad experience at all. I knew what they were doing, obviously. The lady doctor then said to me, your baby's going to be born in a minute, and then before we knew it, we just saw the baby being held up in the air, and she just looked like the most perfect baby. She was covered in vernix, the white stuff that babies get on the outside, and she cried. She let out a cry, and it was just a perfect moment, and I was just so happy. I thought I'd cry, but I didn't cry. It was just the best moment ever.
She's here. Feeling good?
Yeah. The ones that she doesn't need anymore, they just need one more. So that and the diclofenac ones are after about supposedly.
Sorry.
I didn't get any nausea, I didn't get any shaking. I thought I might get shaking because I seen on another video the lady was shaking a few hours afterwards. I didn't get that at all. So I was really lucky, and before I knew it they were wheeling me back, they were wheeling me to recovery.
You just opened your eye, didn't you? Beautiful. Can you see the world?
Bless you.
Oh, bless you.
I felt amazing. I was on liquid morphine and I just felt amazing, on top of the world. I had sort of still things in my arms, and I'd sat upright as I can by that point, so I felt really good. And Mollie was feeding already. Jim had I handed her to Jim, and it was nice because he could bond with her. Actually, I was a bit disappointed I didn't get toast and tea, because I know the tea and toast you get after birth is the best tea and toast ever. But because it was lunchtime, they just put me a jacket potato, which was absolutely fine. Before I knew it was visiting time, which was about 3 o'clock, and my dad and my sister came, and Poppy came to meet Mollie for the first time, and it just melted my heart.
There's Nana.
Hi, Mummy.
And here is little Mollie. Look at your baby sister. Is she pretty?
She loves her so much already. So her name is Mollie May, and she was £7, and she was born at 10 o'clock exactly on the 25th of April. And she is just a little cutie. I will introduce her on another video, and everyone's just in love with her. It's been a whirlwind of a week, and I hope that this video has given you some insight on what a C-section would be like. I'm going to do another video on a C-section recovery, and as I get over the whole birth, then I'll do more videos. And if you do like this video, then please like and subscribe to my channel if you like this sort of video, and I'll see you very soon.